What's up, everybody? Back with another one. We got more Final Fantasy Resonance, or Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. That's always going to be that game in my heart, no matter what. But what we have today is the IGN video. They've played the game for a bit, so I'm hoping that we can sit down and watch this footage and get some answers to some questions that I got, because I have a lot of questions about this game, man, and the info is not coming fast enough for my taste. So hopefully this video will answer some of those questions. I want to know more about the story. Are we getting Brave Exvius fleshed out? Or is Brave Exvius like a base? And then those characters in that world are going to have a new story crafted around them? I have questions about the battle system. Obviously, we got it here on the screen. So I'll be honest, this screenshot kind of answers one of my big questions, like, what type of battle system is it going to be? We'll talk about that more, I suppose, when we get to that part of the video. And the visions, how the visions work in battle. Do the visions have their own skill sets? Do they just enhance your stats? Do they enhance your moves? Like things like that. And then the visions themselves, how do you acquire the visions? Are the visions that are part of the Final Fantasy franchise? Obviously, on the screen we have just the heroes of their respective games, or the main characters of their respective games. Am I going to be able to play Celeste? Am I going to be able to play Tifa or Amarant? Like, I want to know that shit too. And I want to know if those particular Final Fantasy visions are like special visions, or I want to know if the FFBE visions, like Wilhelm and all those guys, are going to be the standard visions, or if these Final Fantasy visions are going to be special visions or common visions, you know what I mean? So I have a lot of questions about this game that I'm hoping this video will answer. So let's check it out. As we get information, we'll stop and chat about it for a bit, and hopefully we'll get some answers to some of these questions we got about this game, man. I am over the moon for this game. The first turn-based 2D HD Final Fantasy, bro. Fucking sign me up.
There, that got them.
A turn-based HD 2D Final Fantasy, huh? It's hard to believe it's real. As someone who grew up on old-school Final Fantasy games and JRPGs, it's hard to believe
Terror skills. I guess. See, this is answering all my questions about battle right now, bro.
As part of an IGN exclusive. From the struggles of finishing Final Fantasy 4 and 6 when I was just 5 years old, to the hundreds of hours I continued to happily invest in Final Fantasy 14.
I never played 14 like that, yo.
The series
Not an
continues
MMO
to
guy.
help shape me. So to see it kind of horseshoe back around to its origins here in 2026 with turn-based combat and expressive pixel art for a full traditional style,
they do have their own skill sets. Wonderful. That shit answered the question right in the beginning of the video. I figured that when the battle screen was up there for the first frame, but okay, they have their own skill sets. So now I'm wondering if those are the skill sets pulled from Brave Exvius, put into this game, or did they get new skills or upgraded skills or anything like that?
I have a ton of details to break down, but I'll preface this by saying in a year packed with promising games, Final Fantasy Resonance is the one I'm looking forward to most.
Me too, bro. This is my most anticipated game of the year. Free. It's not even close.
To set things up a bit, Resonance is an adaptation of Brave Exvius, the Final Fantasy mobile game that shuttered in 2025, which had a 10-year run. Now you might be thinking, this is like how Octopath Traveler 0 was a revamp of the mobile game Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent. However, Resonance is a lot different. This is not a port or even a remake of Brave Exvius, rather it serves as the narrative foundation with a whole new combat system and overworld.
They about to show the overworld, but let's stop real quick and hang on to what he just said. It's an adaptation of Brave Exvius. So what that means to me, or what I hear, is that it's probably going to be the same story. Like the major beats will be the same, but the little creamy middles in between will probably be different. Obviously expanded to make the game longer, but maybe some character relationships will change, or like the way characters interact with each other will change a bit. That'll be pretty cool to see.
The story has been tuned for a traditional RPG that's informed by Brave System and Overworld.
Let's go back a little bit.
Its story has been tuned for a traditional RPG that's informed by Brave Exvius, with everything else built from the ground up. It's got airships, chocobos, the summons you know and love, and an HD 2D art style
I love
that's more
HD
detailed
2D,
than
bro.
what we've seen
I love
before.
it. If you're tired of that shit, get well soon. I love
Resonance
it.
follows the main protagonist, Rain, a good-natured knight from the kingdom of Grandshelt, who has a complicated relationship with his father, who is also the king. And early on, his group of friends join the fight to protect the world's magic crystals from being destroyed by a big bad villain named Veritas of the Dark.
That's pretty much the Brave Exvius story. That's Brave Exvius.
This group includes characters like Laswell, a no-nonsense knight.
Lastworm!
Lyd, who's an aspiring master engineer following the footsteps of every Cid before her, and Fina, an amnesiac who's a summoner tied to the crystals that preserve the world.
Fina's dope.
It's got some real Final Fantasy setup going on here, and if you've played Brave Exvius, then this will all sound familiar. In the demo I played, I got to explore a bit of the overworld, which is split into multiple continents divided by water. I got to visit the town of Dwarves Forge, where we're greeted by a heart lolly ho from every dwarf there.
Yeah.
And I got to complete a full story dungeon along with a big boss fight. It does seem like a more lighthearted and colorful adventure off the bat, and the more playful voice acting also supports this notion of a brighter
voice acting
drama. It also reminds me of
Alright, so everything that he has said about this game so far is music to my ears. I don't know about y'all. I have a feeling that y'all feel the same way though. This seems like it's going to be a classic Final Fantasy adventure. The Final Fantasy that a lot of us fans have been asking for a while, bro. Like me personally, I love the remake franchise, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth. I'm looking forward to Revelation. I cannot fucking wait. I love that battle system. I love those games. However, Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 16, shoot them bitches into the sun, because what is that? We need Final Fantasy, like mainline Final Fantasy needs to get back on track, man. And I hope that this is a step in the right direction. This sounds awesome.
The recent Dragon Quest remakes in HD 2D in terms of tone, and Resonance plays up its goofy side quite a bit. Although, like all things Final Fantasy, I'm sure it has a darker side right around the corner.
Oh.
The dungeon I completed had me tracking down Borin, a master engineer who Lyd has an affinity for, since he's gone missing from Dwarves Forge. The dwarves say he's been kidnapped, and you already know he's being taken for his talents and being coerced to do some mysterious evil deeds. This leads you into the overworld.
Look at this dungeon, bro.
Shipyard, a maze-like dungeon that has some light puzzles, story cutscenes, a time to
look at that animation!
Boss fight.
That animation was super updated from Brave Exvius, but that dungeon looks awesome. There's dungeons, there's towns and like little dungeons in Brave Exvius, but this looks amazing, bro. There's gonna be a lot of new shit to explore in this game. A lot of new shit, bro. It's basically a brand new game in that regard, right?
Against a mechanized drill while riding on a speeding freight escape sequence, and a sick boss fight against a mechanized drill while riding on a speeding freight train.
Woo! Braver!
Even though this is all early on in the story, I still got to see the depths of the combat system.
Here we go. Talk to me, bro.
Does not use an ATB system and instead opts for a system itself.
You heard him?
Resonance does not use an ATB system and instead opts for a straight turn order displayed at the top of the screen.
Straight turn order. So,
enemies have a stagger meter that builds with each hit, and they take on more stagger damage when you
I
hit
like the
their
stagger
elemental
system.
weakness. It's kind of like a turn-based twist on what we've seen in Final Fantasy 13 or 7 Remake. Elemental affinities are a huge part of combat, so having the breadth of elements covered in your party composition
What the
is
fuck was
important.
that, 16?
But you're not just swapping in the right party members to cover this. Instead, you have what are called visions. You can think of these as personas from the Persona series or JoJo stands that each character can equip, all of which come with their own skill set to bring additional powers to each party member.
Verbal confirmation that the visions have their own skill sets, so they don't have normal attacks, they just have special skills that they can do. And then from the trailer that we saw, they have a super attack, which I assume is what Zidane's about to do here.
Are original characters, one of the big appeals of Brave Exvius. While many of the visions are original characters, one of the big appeals of Brave Exvius and ostensibly Resonance is that each mainline entry in Final Fantasy is represented by a star character who shows up as an equipable vision.
I don't like how he said they show up as a star character. I hope that there are multiple reps from each Final Fantasy.
For example, Y'shtola from Final Fantasy XIV is a vision who brings water and healing spells, while Cloud from Final Fantasy VII comes with a variety of thunder spells.
These are their
and
limit breaks
hard-hitting
from
physical
Brave
attacks.
Exvius.
They do not replace the movesets of party members who have them equipped, and instead add depth to what they're already capable of.
Nice. That sounds fucking sick. Lot of strategy.
So, in a battle, you should be aiming to stagger enemies because party members who stagger an enemy are granted an extra turn in a bonus phase. And if you stagger all the enemies, you then call upon one of the 4 visions equipped in your party to do an all-out attack style resonance attack to inflict a ton of damage or bring some much needed support in tough situations.
That's one of the questions I wanted answered. How do you do their limit breaks, their super attacks? So you have to stagger the entire enemy party in order to get one of these attacks off. And you get to choose between the 4 of who you want to go off, which is nice. I was hoping that it wasn't going to be a situation where the big attack comes and you have to use it for the person that's next in turn. It's nice to know that you can pick who you want that way. Like, dude, there's going to be so much strategy in battle with these visions, bro. I wonder if there's going to be like certain characters that have an affinity for certain visions.
Line up all the right spells and attacks along with staggering enemies and calling upon visions, battles can then snowball into a relentless series of big damage numbers flying off. Calling upon visions is accompanied by these bespoke CGI cuts, kind of like the animations that play when using summons in older Final Fantasies, but I find them kind of awkward. Not because I don't think they look cool, but it creates this weird uncanny valley between sudden CGI cinematics playing and the amazing pixel art of the actual game.
That's how Brave
It feels
Exvius
out of
was,
place,
though.
but it's one of those things where you watch it the first few times and ultimately skip every time afterward. However, the actual pixel art for Visions is fantastic.
Yeah, that looks
Seeing their
fucking
ethereal presence
amazing.
backing up
Ramuh
each
looks
party member
dope.
looks pretty sick, but also their in-engine animations bring them to life in a new way that you didn't get in their original games. In addition to Y'shtola and Cloud, I saw the Warrior of Light from Final Fantasy I, Terra from Final Fantasy VI, and Shantoto from Final Fantasy XI, and I can't wait to see the rest of the series' stars manifest as Visions in Resonance. Another interesting twist to combat is that Fina is a true summoner, the only one who can call upon Espers to come into battle, making her
That's
a truly
sick. It wasn't
unique
like that in
party
Brave
member.
Exvius.
While I was only able to use Siren from the start, the songstress who can
That's
heal and
dope.
support like no other, I also got to recruit the lightning god Ramuh. In Resonance, you unlock new Espers by finding them in optional dungeons and fighting them in a tough boss battle.
Yeah!
Me fighting Ramuh.
Bet.
They're tucked away in corners in the overworld, and it's one of the ways it taps into that old school exploration. You'll want to do this not just because they look cool in combat, but because they deepen Fina's capabilities and can turn the tide when called into battle.
Yeah.
The same goes for the Visions from Final Fantasy's Legacy.
Okay.
They find these shrines in the overworld and are treated to this dreamlike montage of scenes from the very Final Fantasy that Vision is from. You're then asked to answer a series of questions related to the story of that character and their game before unlocking them as this kind of ode to the series.
Oh, so you don't fight
I'm not
them?
entirely sure how the answers affect things, but it's a neat little quiz that contextualizes your answers to test your memory of the series. But beware of spoilers if you haven't played them, since they summarize the story and show scenes from those games.
That's sick. I really like that. I like that it gives you like homage to the character that you're recruiting. I do wish there was some kind of penalty to answering the questions wrong. You know, you get a little something for getting all the questions right. You should be rewarded for that. And I wish you had to fight them like you had to do the Espers, but it's not a big deal. It would just be a little cool thing to do.
So, a lot of this game revolves around visions and strategically equipping them for battle. Each one levels up individually the more you use them and have progression tracks to unlock additional spells, attacks, and passive buffs.
Okay, so yeah, the visions do have their own little gimmick or their own skills and shit that you can learn.
Visions and strategically equipping them for battle. Each one levels up individually the more you use them
I love
and have
that.
progression tracks to unlock additional spells, attacks, and passive buffs.
Nice.
While every vision can be attached to any party member, there's some clear advantages to finding a good pairing that can complement a character's core abilities.
I got
A
you.
lot of
So
these
it's not
mechanics sound
it's not like you get or there's an affinity or anything like that, but you just have to see which vision pairs well with the party member you're equipping it to, and then that enhances the party member's strengths even more. I do like that. It's also a situation where you can like buff up their weaknesses too. Man, there's going to be a lot of thinking that goes into party building with this game, and the Visions adding that extra layer on top is really sick.
Familiar, but if there's one entry to point to as inspiration, it's Final Fantasy V. In an interview I did with producer Keisuke Nakashima and director Hiroto Furuya, which you can read on IGN.
It's a lot. Visions are a lot like jobs, it seems like. That's pretty sick. I love Final Fantasy V. Final Fantasy V is a game that the older I got, the more I appreciate it. Like, I'm a big story guy, but Final Fantasy V was one of the first JRPGs where I love playing it more than I love experiencing it.
They frequently pointed to Final Fantasy V as one of their personal favorites and how much they loved its job system. These games share a level of flexibility that I really enjoy in RPGs, and I hope this leads to a deeper experience that evolves beyond simply accounting for elemental affinities.
Yeah, I feel that. There's a lot of games where getting the right element against the boss is it. Like, that's the depth of the battle system. So if this can, Final Fantasy 16 couldn't do that shit. Anyway, this game, if they can take that and add some more shit on top of it because of the Visions, bro, then this battle system is going to be fucking fire. I can't wait to play this game.
My turn.
Now, as I said at the top, I'm looking forward to Final Fantasy Resonance more than anything else this year so far. Not because I'm convinced that it lives up to the legacy, but because it's a fascinating move that many of us have been looking for. A turn-based Final Fantasy with slick HD 2D stylings. It's even...
Real talk, bro. Like, I am not a Final Fantasy needs to be turn-based guy. Like, I am not that guy. I just need the battle system to be fucking good, which 15 and 16 have not done. But the return to turn-based is never a bad idea. It's never a wrong move in my opinion. And being able to stack the Visions on top of a turn-based battle system and add layers of complexity through that, dude, that's all you need, man. The battle system in and of itself doesn't have to be the most complicated thing in the world, but the systems that you interweave into it can make it complex, man, and that's what it seems like Resonance is going for.
Got music with classic Final Fantasy leitmotifs and the whole Brave Exvius soundtrack.
Does that make sense? That makes sense to me, man. It doesn't need to be Expedition 33, like, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
Along with 33 new songs as well.
Oh, bet! The OG soundtrack and new songs.
Taking up the mantle as the modern classic RPG, and if you know me, you know that I won't shut up about how much I adore Octopath 2 and Octopath 0. The final...
I wanted to make note that he said 2 and 0, he didn't say 1.
Fantasy name comes with certain expectations, however. And not that I'm expecting it to hit me emotionally like Octopath or the mainline Final Fantasy games, but this idea of adapting stories from mobile games to a traditional format is so smart in preserving these stories and bringing them to an audience that wouldn't have experienced them otherwise. I mean, I'm devastated at the thought that I could have missed out on the story of Octopath 0, and maybe Nier Reincarnation is due for the same treatment.
Welcome.
But hey, for now, Final Fantasy Resonance seems...
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was the end of the video. Alright, everybody. We got a lot of information from this. I'm really glad I checked this out with y'all. We know about the Visions, we know about the battle system, we know about everything I pretty much had questions about got answered in this video. As for the story, I'm interested to see the depth of it. What has been added to the story and what has been fleshed out. Because my only criticism of Brave Exvius' story is like, you could explore this and that more, but it's a mobile game, bro. You can't really explore this and that more. And now you can with this, so I'm really excited to see that. The battle system just sounds like a fucking treat, man. The Visions, adding layers of complexity to a battle system that seems bare bones on its face, like your normal turn-based affair, but the Visions are giving you skills and abilities, them having their own skills and abilities, then with being able to stagger the enemies and giving you more giving you a reason to stagger ability or to stagger enemies with the vision limit breaks is such a good idea, bro. Like, having it there and then just giving you more damage after you stagger something is nice, but giving you a nice big dope ass move on top of that gives you all the more reason to go for those staggers. Anyway, y'all, that's gonna do it for me. I appreciate y'all watching, hanging out, getting answers to all these questions that we have about this game. I am thrilled about this game, bro. I'm so excited about this game, y'all. I cannot wait to play. I want this game more than anything coming out this year, bro. That is real talk. And I cannot wait to get my hands on it and share it with y'all. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching and hanging out. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.